Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a cover look on the July 2017 Allure cover featuring Halima Aden. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be using the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Primer, and I really like this because I feel that it has a very nice consistency and it really helps to mattify my skin, which I felt that Halima had in the cover look. For my foundation, I'm going to be using a mixture of two foundations, the NARS Sheer Glow in Siberia and the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth in 125 Nude Beige. And I'm just going to be taking a mixture of these two because I am not either shade right now, but I am a mixture of both. I'm just going to be applying that and tapping that out onto my hand and then making it go on my face, obviously. So I'm just going to be tapping that all over onto my face and applying it, and I'm just going to be tapping that on my cheeks right now, and I have different shades right now because I couldn't get all of it out because I'm running out, but that is just what I'm doing in the meantime. And I really like both of these foundations because of their dewiness, and I feel that it really helps my skin look smooth and dewy and like it doesn't have any imperfections. So now I'm just going to be applying that with my Sigma F80 Kabuki brush, I believe, and I'm just going to be swiping that in downward motions on my cheeks. And you want to swipe in downwards motions because it will go against the grain of any of the hair you have on your face and won't make you look like you're fuzzy or anything like that. So I'm just going to be applying that all over my face to get a nice blend so I'm ready to move on to the next product. For concealer, I'm going to be using the Measurable Difference Concealer Collection palette, and I'm going to be going in with the shade Cream to highlight my under eyes and any other spot that I may need. So I'm just going to be taking my finger and applying that underneath my eyes, and I think this concealer is a little on the drier side and it is thicker, so if it's something that you're not interested in, like you don't like a thicker concealer, then I wouldn't necessarily put this underneath your eyes, but I actually thought it was okay. So as you can see here, I'm just going to be tapping it out with my finger and blending it down. I did notice that it was a little bit harder to blend down, but it wasn't to the point where it was absolutely unreachable to do that. So I'm just going to be doing that to both under eyes. So now I'm just going to be applying that same concealer shade to my chin to even out the highlight, and also on my upper lip to even out that highlight, and then again on my forehead to even out the highlight that the concealer has given me. And I'm just going to do that till I feel that it is at the right opacity for my liking. And I'm also going to be taking that shade and I'm going to be applying it to the tops of my eyelids to act as an eyeshadow base for my eyeshadow. And I just prefer using concealer versus an eyelid primer because I feel like it's a lesser step and I don't need to continue to keep going on with that over and over again. Now I'm going to be taking my Makeup Forever Fondant Tint Powder in the shade 200, and I'm going to be using that to set my under eyes. And for that, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques setting brush. Now, I really like this method because I feel that setting my under eyes helps it from creasing, and I'm going to be patting versus swiping so I don't remove any product from underneath my eye. And I'm just going to keep doing that until I feel that my under eyes, are set to the place that I want them to be. And I'm also going to be using that same powder to set both of my eyes, and I prefer to do this so I don't have any creasing and my powder that I'm going to be using goes completely on without a hitch. Now, Halima has a very matte face, I feel, in the cover, so to set my face I'm going to be using the Bare Minerals Translucent Powder Duo, and I'm going to be using the matte side of the formula, obviously. And to set my face, I'm going to be using the Sephora Pro Featherweight Complexion Brush, and I really like this powder. I feel that it is very soft, and so there is a little bit of kickback, but nothing too bad. But it just really sets my face to a nice matte. It isn't like cracky or drying, which I was afraid of because I have dry skin and I prefer dewier look. But I do really like this, and I feel that it helped to set my face and keep my makeup staying on longer. So I'm just going to make sure that I hit all the sides of my face, especially my contour area, because we are going to be contouring and bronzing pretty heavily today for this look. Now, Halima had an incredibly bronzed face in this look, so I'm going to be using the Becca Sweet Pea Mineral Blush for this. The Sweet Pea blush is a very warm tone bronzy color, so I felt that that would work best. And to bronze, I'm going to be using the NARS 21 brush because I felt that it fit the shape of my cheek quite well. So I'm just going to take some of this, and be careful because this is a really pigmented powder, and I'm just going to take that and just bronze my cheek with it. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of powder, and it does look a little crazy at first, but you just have to keep blending in order to get the type of opacity that you want and to have it seamlessly blend. So I'm just going to keep doing that on both sides of my cheeks and giving myself a bronzed look. Now, I am also going to be bronzing the tops of my forehead because she had a very bronzed look. So I'm just going to be taking more of that blush and continuing to bronze my forehead. And it does look a little crazy, but I will actually go back in there and blend it some more. And I'll add more color to the parts of my face that I feel need it. Halima also was contoured in the cover photo, so I'm going to be using the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Medium Deep Matte Bronzer to contour, and for that I'm going to be using the Revlon contour brush also. So I'm just going to take that and go in my hollows of my cheeks, and I'm going to avoid bronzing like I did with the Sweet Pea blush, and I'm just going to take that on the hollows of my cheeks, and then I will take that up to contour the tops of my forehead as well. Now onto the eyes. So the eyes are definitely the most difficult part about this look, and Halima had a very pretty gray eye for the cover of the Allure magazine. So for that, I'm going to be using one specific palette, and that palette is the Smashbox Full Exposure palette, and it looks something like this. Fun fact, this was actually the first palette that I ever purchased. So to start off the eye, I will be going in with the shade M3. Now, unfortunately, these eyeshadows don't have any cool names, but I'm just going to be going in with that shade because I did see that she had almost a bronzy, warm brown shade as her crease color. So I'm just going to be going in with that shade, and I'm actually looking at it right now, and it's a very, like, almost the same color as the Sweet Pea blush, but not quite. And I do like this for the transition shade and the colors that will follow. Now, the next color that I'm going to be going in with is called M5. And this color is a very light neutral gray. And Halima had a little bit of a neutral gray, I felt, in the very hollows of her crease. So I'm going to be using this Luxie brush to continue on with that. So I felt at one point the shade wasn't getting dark enough, so I took my Anastasia Beverly Hills brush and just a little bit more of that shade and continue to darken the crease so it got to my liking and the depth that I wanted. And that's just what I kept doing to both eyes. But Halima also had a sort of pointed out tip, like more of a dramatic crease. So, excuse me, not a crease, more of a dramatic lining. And so I just kept building that color up. And then I also started going into M6 to darken it up to my liking and to make it more comparable to the look that Halima had. So now I'm going to be going into the shade M7, which is just a black shade, and I'm going to be taking my crown brush and I'm just going to be applying that to the lower V of my eye. And Halima did have a dark lid space, but a nice brown, or excuse me, a nice gray crease. So I just wanted to make sure that I got that type of color in my crease and outer V. So I'm just going to be going back and forth with a brush, excuse me, to blend and get it to the color and shape that I want. And that's what you're going to see me doing a lot throughout this video, or what you don't see is the amount of time I go back and forth blending, going back into the shadow, blending, going back and forth to make sure that the eye look ends up looking how I want it to. So now I'm just going to be taking a mixture of both colors, M6 and M7, or just M6 or just M7, and I'm going to be dragging them into my, not dragging them, but putting them into my crease to darken it up. I felt that the color wasn't as dark as I wanted it to be, so I'm just going to keep applying that into my crease and blending it out. And for a lot of these looks, I use the Luxie brushes. I'm not sure exactly which ones because I went back and forth between that and the crown brush, but I'm just going to keep darkening it up as I go to get the desired color. Now, unfortunately, while trying to film my lower lash line, I did make it go out of focus, but I did just use the repeat of the shades I used before, M3, M5, M6, and then M7 to create the lower lash line look. Now, I know that Halima had a darker eye than I was intending, like the waterline, so I ended up going in with the Sephorable retractable eyeliner in the waterproof formula, and I just drew it on my lids. And I know you can see how you're having a hard time seeing it, as I did not realize that I was out of focus, not in frame during this time, but I'm just going to be drawing that eyeliner on the tops of my lids. And as I get back in focus here, I'm just going to be using a pencil brush to blend out the eyeliner a little bit more. This was a stiffer formula, so I was having a little bit of trouble blending it out, but I just kept going in with that to make sure that the eyeliner was blended and not actually look like I had eyeliner on. Now for brows, I'm going to be using the Benefit Gimme Brow in the shade 5, and this is a brow volumizing fiber gel, and I just really like this because I feel that it gives my brows the color that they need and the little extra oomph that they need. Even though my brows are incredibly bushy right now, I just feel that it helps shape the look a little bit more. So I'm just going to be applying this brow gel all over my brows to give them a little bit of a more groomed look. So for my eyelashes, I curled them with the Tarte eyelash curler, but for mascara, I'm going to be using the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara in the little travel size, and I'm just going to be applying that all over my eyelashes to make sure that they are big and beautiful and replicate Halima's. Now, for the grand finale, I'm going to be doing the lips, and Halima had this really nice brick red dark lip, and so to outline my lips, I'm going to be using the Sonia Kashuk True Red Lip Definer, and I'm just going to be tracing my lips to make sure that I stay in the lines. For lighter colors, I don't normally do this, but for a dark of a color like this red is, I will be doing it just to make sure that my lip line is traced and I don't go out of it. Now for lipstick, I'm going to be going in with the Bite for VIB Rouge Cream lipstick. Now, unfortunately, if you are not a Rouge member, you cannot purchase this lipstick because it is only for VIB Rouges, so I apologize about that, but I did feel that the shade was most comparable to Halima's. So I'm just going to be applying that, and it does get a little messy, and I will go in with concealer to correct that, as this is a sample size. It was a little bit harder to maneuver with, but I'm just going to keep going around with that on my lips until I get it to the shade that I want it to be. So to set my face, I'm going to be using the Project Beauty Spray Set Go Makeup Setting Spray, and this was the first time using it, and Kathleen Light said that the only thing about this spray is it didn't spray like in really a misty form like the Urban Decay one did, and I do agree with her on that, but I'm just going to be spraying it my usual 3 times, so 1, 2, and 3. And this setting spray was good. It smelled pretty good, which I liked, but I'm just going to be shaking my hands all around my face to make sure that my face is set and ready to go. And as you can see, my lip did get cleaned up because I used some of that cream concealer from the palette by Measurable Differences. So I'm just kind of checking over everything to make sure everything looks okay, and then that will be the completed look. And I'm talking to my sister right here because we have to leave. But I really did enjoy creating this look. It was definitely something that I probably wouldn't have done unless I saw this cover. So I love you guys very much. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I thank you for watching.